I'm Mr. Gray, and that's me, and that's Mr. Boyd, wherever he's at.
Hello, hello.
Um, Mr. Boyd, you can't keep track of people wanting in, can you?
No, sir, that's all you.
Have to do that. Yes. Okay. I'll keep going back and forth. Do you have anything to say before we start, Mr. Boyd? We're the band directors at East, and we both work. I guess this will start next year. We'll start our 6th year together.
Yep.
Wow. He put up with me for 6 years. Pretty awesome. Um, do you have anything else you want to talk before I'm still letting people in?
No, we're just super excited about this year, even though it's going to be an odd start or a different start, but we're going to make it work, and we're definitely going to take care of all your kiddos. So this is the first step.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get up to 100. I want to let everybody know, though, that when it hits that point, people get knocked out. If you know of anybody else that hasn't been getting communication, please let us know, because this has been very difficult for us also. We usually usually we do things a lot differently. What would have happened is they would have got an invite into a instrument testing, or just try out the instrument day kind of a thing. And there would have been every instrument group there, and they would have gone through and played everything, and we would have done all that. But obviously, for reasons that we see now, we don't have that going on. So what we're going to try to do, make sure I don't get ahead of myself, is this is real important. We need those Google forms that were sent out filled out. I know it's kind of strange that we're asking for pictures and we're asking for all this. So let me explain to you how we're going to start next year, okay? We're going to start by, when y'all fill out these Google forms, we're going to put you in a class based on that information. By what we see and by what you put down as your 4 choices. And then what we're going to do is we're going to literally place you in there ourselves. All right. Now, we don't want anybody getting instruments yet, because what will happen at the beginning of the year, we will come back and interview everybody again. Now, what we're hoping is that we got pretty close off of this Google form. But things like this, people that want to be in percussion, the thing that's going to happen there, we can't do anything until school starts. So that's just kind of where we are with that. I mean, we can't do anything at all. So the percussion tests and everything will happen then. You know what I mean? So if some of you wanted to play oboe or some of the real oboe, bassoon, or anything like that, we're going to have to really wait to the beginning of the year to select those. Now, normally, we would have already had our beginner interview day, right? And then we would have maybe even started lessons, and some people could have started things like that. But we can't do any of that this year. We have to just wait it out. When school starts, we will interview every student the first couple of weeks of school. We just feel that's the best way to get things done. You want to add anything to that, Mr. Boyd?
No, I think what we've done, that form is actually being used across the district and in several other districts in the Austin area. And so we think it's going to get us pretty close. But obviously nothing will be quite be in stone until we get school going.
So some of the questions that you see on that Google form is things like this. Like, you notice they had one picture of lips, and it showed the little bump in the lip. Well, if you've got a really big bump in the lip, teardrop as we call it, that's not good for flute at times. Now, we're not saying you can't play flute. We need to see that in action. In other words, we would have to see what that bump does when we start putting the flute up to our mouth. And we can't do that till the beginning of the year. Sometimes that teardrop is dominant, and that means we've got to do something, another instrument of some kind. Now, please, you need to hear, we are actually going to end up starting a little later than we really would like to next year. Everybody is going to get their chances to move to where they feel comfortable. It's very important that you write down if a brother or sister played something. Very important if you played something, the parents. It's very important that we see that, because the way the face is structured really will depend on what they do. Uh, and what we're missing out on right now is that moment where a student puts an instrument on their face and they play it and it fits. You know, we don't get that today. We don't get that until we get back in school in August. And believe me, that it's very upsetting for us, you know. Um, hold on, yeah, there we go. It's very upsetting for us, but that's just the only way we see it can get done, you know. Um, so really that form's real important to us right now. Um, so that's the reason why we're asking about faces and stuff. I know that seems weird, maybe a little creepy. Why do they want my, yeah, but we need to see their teeth shape. We need to see their lip shape. We need to see those things because they really do lead you to certain instruments. The way sometimes certain types of front teeth, if they're doing something that needs, maybe they're crossing a little bit, maybe there's something going on. Well, maybe that's not a good fit for a certain instrument. You know what I mean? So we'll go through all that and look at all that too. Um, so you will be giving 4 choices to us. I'll say this, and I think Mr. Boyd he knows this also. I think for the most part, everybody ends up where they want to be. In fact, I very seldom, sometimes percussion's the problem. Sometimes people in percussion, you know, that's their number one choice, but you need to understand this about percussion. Percussion is not Mr. Boyd or me picking. We don't pick those things. That is picked by the district percussion instructor. And so the first week of school, she will be over here doing that. And we will pick 8 to 10 for that. So that is done by Ms. Chernow. I don't know if any of y'all have met Ms. Chernow yet, but that's done by her. Okay. Let me keep going here. Do we have any questions that we need to go through?
There was just one that wanted clarification on percussion, but I think you pretty much got that. I mean, we'll set that up once school starts with Ms. Chernow, and she has a process that usually everybody comes to the high school band hall and goes through that. Obviously, with what we may be looking at with social distancing, we'll look at doing that differently, but there's a process in place that's been very successful. And I will say this, we have several times that learners get into that audition for percussion and decide, hey, this is not for me. So don't feel like, you know, that's an odd thing. And I would say 95% of the time we have kiddos that don't make the percussion class, but go and excel in other instruments and end up going, wow, I'm so glad I didn't end up on percussion. I found the flute and the flute's amazing.
Yeah, I always say the instrument selection process is almost like trying on a pair of shoes. You want to find what fits you. And sometimes somebody might want percussion, but and we had that happen this year. Somebody, I think it was a flute player, I don't remember, but somebody picked an instrument, but they wanted to play percussion when they went in there. But as soon as they played that instrument, they went, that's the one for me. And unfortunately, those are the things that we are missing being able to do right now. So that's why we're going to move all that to August. Could this all be up in the air in August? I guess theoretically it could be, and all we can do at that point is just see where we are at that point, right? So I'm hoping we'll be able to do interviews by August, though. That would be great. We might do some early. I've talked about maybe if things are lifted, maybe we'll do it a little bit early for a week, but right now it's going to be the first day of school. Couple of things that maybe y'all don't know about how things work, and I think we explained this pretty well. I hope we do anyway. But our band fees have been the same for the last, I've been in Coppell, I've been at East for 12 years, and I think the band fees have stayed pretty much the same the whole time. So it's $150 a student. And that's just a one-time fee for the whole year. If they are selected on school instruments, which are tuba, euphonium, French horn, oboe, bassoon. Am I leaving one? Yeah, I think that's it. If they're selected on one of those are school-owned instruments, and y'all will rent those from us, and it's a one-time fee of 125 for the whole year. The only thing that we do with the people that are selected on those instruments, we do ask that they take lessons with the lesson teachers, and but we'll discuss that as we get closer to those decisions. If you are going into, let's say, trumpet or flute or something like that, those are rentals from another company that we will bring in. And we'll let you know as that gets close, all the details on that too. So, so I'm gonna go back here. Has anybody got another percussion question?
No, you're good.
Okay. So the way it's gonna work is this. You will pick 4 instruments that you wanna do. As we go through and we look, and some of the questions are about, do you like to do this or do you like to do this? And some of that, what we're trying to find out is, like, certain instruments take certain personalities. Trumpet takes usually somebody pretty, what's the word? Almost
Bold.
old. Hey, watch it. Almost, I like the real energetic people on those instruments. Certain instruments, I want somebody that's real aggressive. And then some instruments, we want the people that are more, that they're already doing trig right now. They're already doing, and like oboe is one of those instruments, or one of the, maybe somebody that's a thinker and they really, things like that. So every instrument has a different personality type that goes to it. So we will do our best job to connect those people. Now, they're not the old stereotypes, like tuba is not somebody that's stupid and big. That's funny. That's how some people think, but that is not true. In fact, at our school, you ought to see some of the people playing tuba. Like, we've got, what, Piper, how big is Piper? About 40 pounds. And she plays.
Yeah.
So we don't look at that kind of stuff, but yeah, there are certain personalities for each instrument. So that's what we try to do there. Basically, guys, I think what we're trying to hope everybody does, and we're just at the time where we all have to be just flexible, and if you have questions, please email us. Filling out that form is very, very important. We really think East is our band the last 4 or 5 years, actually the last 12, but especially the last 4 or 5 years has just been just incredible. We're one of the very few programs in the state that we have 27 straight first divisions at UIO. And I'm not sure many people, I don't know of any schools around here that can say that. It's just, this school's had a rich tradition of just doing things very well. You can also look at the high school. Mr. Boyd and I have a really good, our goal is this. Our goal is to be the best we can be, yes. But our goal is also see these guys be lifelong musicians. If at all possible, that's what we want. We've always been that way. And I think when you look in the high school, the president of the high school band right now is from East. The 2 drum majors are from East. And so there's a lot of things that we do that we want them to be lifelong, just musicians, lifelong, love it as much as we do, kind of a thing. Okay. Oh, he's answering them as we go. I see. All right, cool. I don't know. Do you have anything else, Mr. Boyd?
No, I think we got everything
Yeah, I went through
that we wanted to get covered. So I think we're good. This is weird.
I know we were pretty quick. I think we probably didn't need to do this, but we're pretty paranoid right now because this is so new to us. Please, 5th grade guys, who's on my 5th graders, I can see you all. If you run into somebody that hasn't received this information, please have them email us, because there has been some issues with, they've started something over the last couple of years where if you put band second, and you want to do 2 fine arts as a 6th grader or 2 electives as a 6th grader, it automatically puts PE and bumps the second one. So they put us, I don't know who started that, and I don't even know if it's done on purpose, honestly. But it'll bump the second elective off and automatically give you PE when they might not want to do PE in 6th grade. So maybe they do, but in some cases, so we've caught about 5 or 6 people so far, and we're hoping to make sure we get other people. If y'all run into anybody else that has gone through this, this will be posted on our website, which is eastband.weebly.com, all lowercase, eastband.weebly.com. And we put all this stuff on there also. All right.
Hey, Mr. Gray, did you see in the chat, Allie and Zach have a couple questions? I don't know if you want to hit those.
What is the typical? Oh, the fees. Okay, yeah, I see that. For our school-owned instruments, which I hate to say this, I have a feeling they're going to go up because we're having to do new stuff. Like we're looking at UV lights to kill all sorts of germs, and we're looking at a lot of new stuff. But it's right now it's $125 for the year, but we might have to bump up to $150, which I know that's not huge for an instrument for the whole year, but that's what we're looking at. So right now, 125 for the whole year. That's why we strongly suggest that if they get on one of these school-owned instruments, that they take lessons, because really school-owned instruments are the cheaper way to go for the instrument. So did I miss another question?
So I think she's more referring to like flutes, clarinets, and that's probably $35 to $40 a month is what most people pay in rental fees.
Sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, I would say an instrument fee. What did you say?
35 to 40.
35 to 40. Some of the instruments, and this is a constant battle for us. We constantly try to find ones to get them below certain prices. But yeah, some of them you get up in the 45 range. And then one of them can get way above that, but we won't talk about that one yet. That's the one a lot of people want to play, but that's a saxophone. So that one's probably the most expensive one. So sorry, I read that wrong. I didn't see non-school owned instruments. Any other questions for us?
Zach asked how likely is it that you would get your 3rd or 4th instrument? That usually does not happen.
Yeah, I will say this. You might not get your first 2 to start the year with, but by the time it all settles out, you probably will get your top 2. Does that make sense? Like right now, we're just going to have to put you in a class to start the year. That's the only way we can do it. And then we will move things around, but we want to get as close as we can. That's why those pictures are very important. And that's why that all those questions are very important for us. Okay.
And then Owen, you're asking about lessons on school-owned instruments. Most of our kiddos are in lessons, regardless of the instrument. I would say we're probably 80%, 85% band-wide in lessons. It's more encouraged for some of those school-owned instruments because we're looking at more specialized instruments with oboe, bassoon, French horn, especially those 3. But then also you're not financially looking at a monthly payment like a clarinet player would. So it's kind of a trade-off there. Regardless, don't let money be an issue. I mean, we will bend over backwards, walk on fire. If you want to be in band, you're going to be in band. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, we take care of that. And we are actually working on, and I do believe that this will be the first year we're actually going to get to use a scholarship, some funds for scholarships to help people pay for things. And we haven't got to do that. I started in Coppell like in 94. So I opened North in 98 and 99. So back then we had a scholarship fund. Somewhere in there we were told we couldn't do it anymore, and now we're told it can come back. So I do believe next year we will get to start that. So that's a good thing. So yay.
In 1994, I was a freshman in high school.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, and I'd already been teaching a while. Yeah, I've taught in Coppell probably for 27 years, 28, somewhere in there. Not, oh well, anyway, scary. Any other questions? I think we're good, huh? Yay?
I think so. If y'all want to hang around and like ask a question you didn't want to ask in front of everybody else, we'll stick around for a little bit. Saw a couple familiar faces, Brina and Rhea.
Where's Brina? There she is. She's underneath my little thing there. Oh, Brina, what? Wow, sweet. Brothers and sisters. Wow, that's so awesome.
Made
Hey,
into varsity marching band.
I know.
Woo!
Whoop, I know. Sweet. Our East guys are doing well.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. They really are. Yeah. Hey. All right. Anybody have any other questions? Are we good? Okay. Well, let us email us. We'll be glad to take it. You can go ahead and leave if you want to. And if you have questions, you can hang around a little bit. That's fine. We'll hang for a little bit. See y'all. Woo.